They are beating and assaulting people in front of the police.
President, we want to make it categorically clear that on the issue of illegal immigration, we stand with South Africans. Where was Pan-Africanism when 14 South African soldiers paid with their lives in pursuit of peace and stability on the continent?
Somalis and Pakistanis, this video is for you. It's no secret that you don't employ South Africans. It's no secret that you sleep in your shops. It's no secret that you bring in your families.
Yet in South Africa, whenever the issue is raised, we are immediately subjected to lectures, labels, and moral grandstanding.
My friend,
sicela besifazane abagane amakwelekwele bahambe namakwelekwele abo baye emazweni abo la beganele khona.
These vigilante groups are not operating in secret. They are breaking the law openly in front of law enforcement officers.
We are told that South Africans must carry the burden of poor leadership and governance failures elsewhere on the continent.
Welcome back to my channel. In this long video, you will see it's a compilation. There are different people, different views. Yesterday we had a meeting. There was a meeting in Parliament where different political parties were asking questions to the president. So in this long video, you will see Usihle Lonzi from the EFF asking the president, because we know where the EFF stands in this situation that we are facing here in South Africa. They march against illegal foreigners. And also we'll see there are political parties that also agrees with South Africans, with the marchers, like UDM. There is also Ngabayomuzi Nkwankwa stood up also in Parliament and defended South Africans in the march. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, the UDM supports Budget Vote 1. South Africa faces enormous socio-economic challenges: stubborn unemployment, deep poverty, rising inequality, and sluggish economic growth. Yet, despite these challenges, our economy remains one of the most developed and diversified on the continent. That reality makes South Africa a magnet for migrants seeking economic opportunities, including those who enter or remain in our country illegally. President, we want to make it categorically clear that on the issue of illegal immigration, we stand with South Africans who are calling for the lawful enforcement of our immigration laws. President, no country in the world is expected to simply look the other way when faced with illegal and undocumented migration. No country is told that enforcing its laws is somewhat immoral. Yet in South Africa, whenever the issue is raised, we are immediately subjected to lectures, labels, and moral grandstanding. South Africans are told that they must not complain, they must not ask questions. They must not expect their laws to be enforced. They must simply absorb the consequences and remain silent. What is even more remarkable, President, is the persistent attempt to reduce this complex issue to race. We are constantly told by those who are intellectually lazy that white undocumented foreigners are not targeted. Well, if they were competing for jobs in Gugulethu, in Tanzania, in Kaili, Chakwamashu, and Soweto, if they were concentrated in township economies, petrol stations, restaurants, and informal businesses, if they were directly competing for some opportunities and limited resources that millions of poor South Africans rely on, they too would be part of this debate. The reality is that the issue is not primarily about race, it's about economics, It's about opportunity, unemployment, competition for scarce resources. Pretending otherwise may be politically convenient for some, but it does nothing to address the legitimate concerns of South Africans who live with these realities on a daily basis. But apparently pointing out this obvious fact has somehow become controversial. President, we are also Pan-Africanists, but we are not naive. We reject this tame version of Pan-Africanism that appears only when South Africa is expected to make sacrifices. We are told that South Africans must carry the burden of poor leadership and governance failures elsewhere on the continent. We are told that South Africans must never complain. We are told that South Africans must never ask difficult questions. I therefore want to ask a number of questions which are important. Where is this Pan-Africanism when African leaders are bought by the West and Morocco to vote against African interests in international forums such as the IPU? Where is this Pan-Africanism when South Africa came under fire under sustained verbal attacks from the US during your G20 presidency? Lastly, and perhaps more importantly, where was Pan-Africanism when 14 South African soldiers paid with their lives in pursuit of peace and stability on the continent? 14 lives lost, families shattered, coffins draped in South African flag. What happened afterwards? The DRC and the US signed agreements giving American companies priority access to the DRC's mineral wealth. America secured the deal. We buried our soldiers. Too often, solidarity is demanded from South Africa but barely reciprocated. Solidarity, President, without reciprocity is exploitation. Partnership without mutual benefit is dependency. And the Pan-Africanism without accountability is a scam and merely a slogan, and we reject it with the contempt it deserves. We therefore support the enforcement of South Africa's immigration laws. At the same time, we reject violence, intimidation, and attacks against foreign nationals.
Well said, well said. I've said this several times in my videos, the videos that I've been posting. I've said a lot of the points that Mr. Nkwanka has raised, that each and every time when South Africans raise issues, they are called names. In the previous video that I've posted, that's where there was Nota and Ngizwe also talking about this, that they even made a reference about what is happening in Russia and Ukraine, that there's war there, there's been war for like years now, but we never heard them referring to those people that are fighting white on white as xenophobic. So I've said it. There was someone that said in the comments answering me on that statement that no, but that one is the government war. It's not like what. So ibekile ngendlela yakhe. Umbono wakhe, but it's also similar to what is happening here in South Africa when you think about it, because this man is in parliament. This man is saying he supports what the marchers are doing because he understands what the people of South Africa are complaining about. It's an issue worldwide. It's not only a South African problem. It's said that leaders like Abu Julius Malema, they always say that no, it's not a South African problem, but when it comes to South Africa, they call people names, but he says himself it's not a South African problem, right? Okay. Yesterday, the video that I've posted yesterday, Mr. Julius said, in this situation that you are having in South Africa of high unemployment rate, look, the opportunities are all over Africa. If South Africa, they can leave this mentality of thinking they are superior and look up for opportunities all over Africa, we will find out that there are opportunities in Africa. He made an example of Zimbabwe. He said, you see, here in Zimbabwe, they are trading in dollars. If you can open your mind and look for those opportunities, you might benefit. That's what he said. He made a reference of 2 or 3 people. That's what he likes to do, by the way. We're talking about the youth of South Africa, millions of youth, people who have finished matric, people who have finished in college. You say, as you are saying, someone who has completed matric last year must start looking for posts throughout Africa, must look for posts in Zimbabwe, Kenya, Malawi, all those countries. That's what we are saying. In the video that I've posted, you can go back and watch the video. He said that. I forgot to say it, and I felt bad when I was watching the video myself. I was like, damn, man, like, what is this guy saying? He said that.
With the high levels of unemployment we have in South Africa, with the economy that is declining, with an economy that is racialized, there are so many opportunities in the continent where our people can benefit from those. You just have to do a quick research to check where they've got a problem of nurses. You go there. If you are a nurse, you are unemployed. If you are a teacher, unemployed. A doctor, unemployed.
If you have finished your studies in your tertiary, so meaning according to what Malema was saying in that video, you should not only look for opportunities in South Africa, you should not apply here in South Africa. Do you know how expensive is it, my man, to relocate? Let's say you're a South African now, you have found that opportunity that Malema claims they are in Africa. You know, now you have to leave your country and become a foreigner in another country. You know, so South Africans are fighting against that. That is why they are saying these people that are here. Anyway, it doesn't even make sense what this Malema was saying, because, for example, if there are those opportunities that he says white South Africans, they don't see those opportunities, why are we having the problem that we are having in South Africa? Why are we having a lot of immigrants coming here in South Africa? If there are opportunities, if there are those opportunities that you are referring to, why are the people from those countries are not realizing those opportunities? Instead, they come here. There are two parts in this situation. There is, in fact, in life, there's always a positive and negative. I'm just happy that this guy agrees with a lot of us and he sees the things that we are facing exactly as we are facing them. Also, he spoke about what took place, not 1990, what, not during apartheid, not during what, last year or last year, if I'm not mistaken, whereby South African Force Defense sent soldiers to try and assist in Congo. Unfortunately, I mean, we lost 14 soldiers in that war, you know. So he's asking Guti, Kandi, this Africanism isebenza makunjani? How does it apply? It applies only when it's South Africa or when it's South Africans that needs to go and assist. But when we are complaining and we have problems, it doesn't apply. It applies when only it's South Africans that are complaining. Because he also said that it seems like South Africans are not allowed to raise their complaints. Because once they raise complaints, they are categorized or they are labeled as xenophobic and all those sort of names. Let's keep going, people. There are many.
Somalis and Pakistanis, this video is for you. It's no secret that you don't employ South Africans. It's no secret that you sleep in your shops. It's no secret that you bring in your families and open spaza shops wherever you go. You own 70% of our informal retail sector, which translates into 600 to 750 billion rand annually. Our law states if you come into our country and you intend to open a business, you need 5 million rand in investment. What you do is split that 5 million rand up into a bunch of smaller spaza shops, and then you don't employ South Africans whatsoever. And if you do employ South Africans, you pay them next to nothing, less than.
Sisemaplazini kuzohlatshwa inkomo. Ngihlala ngibona abo my friend abokudla babeka amanyawo okudleni. Nali inyawo uyalibona la. Phakathi ekudleni. Kaloku ngiyibona emafonini, ngiyibona live ke manje. Basidisa amanyawo.
nivule icontainer nivule icontainer sepa operate apha anivumelekanga zizinto zabantu ngoku siyavala ngoku anizuphinde sepa ngoba apha indlela zokungena ingaba ungena uzokwenza ibhizinesi yakho investment yakho maqala kufanele enyuke okwesibini uzosebenza umsebenzi urhulumente okanye private sector uze neskill esinqabileyo bonke amalanga bayakwazi ukuphela so ngoku anizuphinde nina nivule apha uba ninamsebenzi wokwenza uMzantsi Afrika hambahamba phinde emawukweni siyabona.
Okay, yeah, we know. I've been posting these videos where they are raiding the shops. These gentlemen, they are telling him to close the shop because they are telling him that he doesn't even have a right to own that container that he's doing business there. I don't know much about the situation there. I don't know if he has documents or if they've asked him about documents, but what I know is they're operating that small container in township. I don't think that's proper. Okay, the first clip we had my brother there, he was telling us about how these Somalians operate. We know, by the way, we know people that stays in township, they know this thing that this man was raising. They know that these guys, they sleep in the tuck shops. I remember me and my friend, we used to joke about this some years back. He used to say, hey, I've stopped buying bread. I'm no longer buying bread. I'm not gonna buy bread from these guys that about Suzel grocer so work. He used to say it. Yeah, so it's something that is known. You see. So we are seeing these things on videos, but we've seen these things with our own eyes, So this is the proof that we are talking about when we are saying these are things that people are complaining about. We're not talking just like what people were complaining on social media also about the statement from Thabo Mbeki to say to him, these are the problems that we are facing. We are telling you that this is what is happening. You can't tell us that these are not our problems because first of all, we are not looking for a job. You are not looking for a job. You are not staying where we are staying. So you can't tell us when we are telling you. Same goes for Julius Malema. He likes to speak on behalf of people. He says he stands for poor people, but clearly this guy doesn't stand for poor people. His lifestyle, where he stays, he doesn't like simple things. People from Alexandra, people from Tembisa, people from Soweto, they've been vocal on social media against illegal foreigners. And then a lot of those people, they vote for EFF, by the way. And they've said it on social media that this thing called EFF, we're out of this thing, I'm talking about the EFF. I've said it also that I've spoken about EFF in my previous videos, and the clip that is going to play next is also the EFF in the meeting that took place yesterday. I referred to it in the beginning. I told you that is EFF also standing on their point of saying no to the march, no to march and march. Let's keep going.
Beginning, conveying our heartfelt condolences to the family of Tlamolo Sambo, a 19-year-old young man from Limpopo whose life was brutally cut short in Mossel Bay yesterday. We extend our sympathies to his parents, his sister, Nontlantla, and all those who loved him. It is believed that Tlamolo was a victim of the lawlessness which has engulfed our nation over the past months and weeks. Welcome back, Mr. President. House Chairperson, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the EFF has for many years warned against the normalization of Afrophobic vigilantism and the hatred against Black Africans would eventually cost innocent South African lives. This is precisely because the cousin of xenophobia is tribalism. The cousin of Afrophobia is tribalism. The two are simply inseparable. Mr. President, what should concern you even more as head of state is that these vigilante groups are not operating in secret. They are breaking the law openly in front of law enforcement officers. They are building and assaulting people in front of the police. Why should we not believe that this violence is state-sponsored? Why should we not believe that this anarchy is sponsored by you as the state when crime is committed in front of those who are supposed to be custodians of the law? Where is the voice of the Minister of the Police? Mr. President, when you rise and respond here, you must reiterate and outline what you will be doing to address this crisis before more South African lives are lost. You must never get tired of explaining yourself to the people of South Africa. Mr. President, in your State of the Nation address, you stood before this House and committed to the employment of an additional 10,000 labor inspectors to protect South African workers from exploitation and address non-compliance with labor legislation. Where are the 10,000 additional labor inspectors, Mr. President? Your Minister of Small Business stood before South Africans and announced 500 million fund for spaza short for South Africans. Where is the 500 million fund for spaza short for South Africans? How many township entrepreneurs have touched it and felt it? Mr. President, in the same sauna, you promised the country a new university in Ekurhuleni, a promise which you made in 2020, by the way, 6 years ago. Yet the Minister of Education, Higher Education, has failed to identify a mere site, Mr. President. There is no site for a commitment that you made 6 years ago, no foundation, no construction team, and no building plan. Mr. President, these ministers clearly do not take you seriously. When a president speaks and makes a commitment before the nation, ministers and government departments are supposed to work around the clock, day and night, to ensure that the commitments made by the president become the reality. Yet, time and again, your promises are ignored by your own ministers. Do you not think that you have lost the moral authority to discipline them? Because leadership is not just about giving instructions. Leadership is about setting an example. How do you demand accountability from your ministers when South Africans are still waiting for accountability from you, Mr. President? How do you insist on transparency from your cabinet when the Phala Phala scandal continues to cast a shadow over your presidency?
Abafethi video ke le umthikonze video yami ongirikhodele zude mnganami ungiphele video yazi uya record la ukhona ongirikhodele ngicongisendele sengiqala lokuyenza phela ngicongenzele zude mngani wami zude production record lapho asijwayeli kabo asijwayeli kabo
If you have listened to the EFF gentleman properly, if you have listened to him properly, you will be disappointed as a South African. I've listened to him. In the beginning of the clip, I feel sorry for the guy if it's true that he said he was attacked, according to him, by the marchers, I guess. Yeah, if it's true. He says also these people are attacking the illegal foreigners in front of the police. Man, I've been posting these videos. They are here in this channel. A lot of them. I have not seen that. Remember, I don't go out there and shoot those videos. Those videos, they come through Facebook, through the feeds. Meaning I don't go through Lona. They are coming from different places, from different provinces, but I have not come across the marchers committing crime in front of the police. What I've been seeing also in the news and in these clips are the police escorting the marchers. They've said it on the news also that if people they want to march, they should go to the police so that there's a letter that they get or kind of like a permission so that they will have police escorting them. So you want to change that, and this guy wants to see police attacking South Africans. It seems like he doesn't understand what is the duty of the police, and the police are doing exactly their job, is to protect South Africans. That is why they escort the marchers. In terms of South Africans committing crime in front of them, believe me, I've said a lot of things about our police, but I don't think they will allow that. I don't think they will allow that, what you are saying, committing crime in front of the police. Police themselves, they won't allow what you are saying. We are just lying. So jail team, because we're not there, we're not under your payroll. When I so good to so that's what he said in the beginning. When you're about to finish the clip, he speaks about this guy. By the way, the AFF, they only speak about South Africans when they were attacking the president. The only part where he spoke about South Africans, that when he was attacking Ramaphosa, asking Ramaphosa where the funds that you said you're gonna give to the shops. Why must he give the funds to the shops while about 80 to 90% of those shops are owned by illegal foreigners? So this guy is pushing, is like, you said you wanna give this money to uplift the township, but the people from the township are like, these shops are owned by illegal foreigners. So this guy is pushing Ramaphosa to keep his promise to give money to these people that the community are complaining about. You must go back and listen. Listen, I'm not lying. Listen to the clip and listen what he was speaking about in the beginning of the clip. By the way, in the beginning of the clip, that's when he started speaking there in the podium where he was speaking. You know, so this is the problem that we have. They only speak on behalf of South Africans when they are only fighting the current president. It happened during Zuma's time. The AFF, many people, AFF gained a lot of followers because of the attacking Jacob Zuma, because he was the head of state at that time. Now, they've got nothing else for South Africans. They speak now because of this guy now here in the podium. He only spoke something about South Africans when he was now trying to attack Ramaphosa. That's the role that the AFF stands for in our country. Nothing else, my friend. Nothing else. Let's keep going.
If you are a South African, uma ngabe uyintombi yala eMzansi, ngumZulu, ngumXhosa, ngumpedi, ngumshangane, ungumTswana, noma ungumSuthu, noma nje uyiphi tribe yala eMzansi, kodwa ushade nekwelekwele, nawe sicela usifokofele la eMzansi. Fokofa nje kwayiwena, hamba uye kwakho. Hamba nje. Hamba uye kwakho. Mangabe ushade eNigeria, thatha amasimbi endoda yakho, niyokhotha nihlama kude le eNigeria ngoba akukona kwakho la. uyofika ngokuvakasha kini ngoba usho njalo umthetho wesintu sase South Africa uma ngabe wesifazane eGhana uyasuka kubo aye kwakhe owesifazane nje mayeGhana uyasuka kubo aye kwakhe sicela besifazane abagane amakwelekwele bahambe namakwelekwele abo baye emazweni abo la beganele khona ngoba uma ngabe ugane ikwelekwele usuli ikwelekwele nawe wena lo ekusetshenzwe ngawe ukuthi kungenisa ubugebengu la eMzansi wena lo okusetshenzwe ngawe ukuthi kungena ama drugs la eMzansi wena lo ekusetshenzwe ngawe ukuthi kuthengwe ama ID kuthengwe ama South African identities so uma ngabe uyintombi yala eSouth Africa kodwa ugane ikwelekwele lase Zimbabwe noma lase Nigeria noma lase lakuphi koKhongo le sicela nambe niyonukuselana amakhwapha nemdidi kude le Nkosi yami sicela nisihambele eSouth Africa ungakashaya umhla ka30 June please ngoba nizonya ungakashaya umhla ka30 June sicela nisihambele Nkosi yami sengikhuluma nama South African ke manje yeah uma ngabe nje ungowase South Africa ugane amasimba ekwelekwele sicela usifusekele nje sicela usifokofele nje fuseka nje kwayiwena la eSouth Africa yakwakho sunwenja laba bathi ngikhuluma inhlamba bayangidakela umsunyo nini isintu lesi iqiniso lele ngilukhulumayo ungazonginyela mina kusangana phela la uyabo ngeke phela sidlale amakwelekwele ngenxa yalemsunu le ongquza khamisa laba bala eSouth Africa uma ngabe uncela amasende ekwelekwele hamba nekwelekwele lakho msunu wakho niyokhothana ihlama le yebo nikwapuna ihlama le ko Nigeria lesi sihlama sekwelekwele sicela nuyeke ukusikwapunela la ezweni lethu siyanuka hambani nokwapuna ihlama kude le la uganele khona yabo wamanje nina nilosi nihlushwa ukuthi besilosi niphatha kahle siniphatha kahle la ezweni lethu senisigibele emakhanda manje nisijwayela kabi yabo nize nathatha osisi bethu banigana osisi bethu sithi siniphatha kahle senisigibele emakhanda ungakashayiki umhla ka30 June sicela imsuni yonina iyokwapunani ihlama le emazweni ayo la iqhamuka khona nina ifebe hambani niyokwapuna ihlama zalezinja le la niganele khona emazweni azo la isuka khona sikhathele manje sikhathele yeah
la YMCA sisusa labantu abahambe bekhanda imjondolo yamatende la sabasusa sifuna ukuthi kushaya umhla ka30 izayizayi selikwela kubo siyawasusa thina ke manje amatende susa thina ke manje khona la khona emasheni mashi sibambisene ambani la ambandla nitsheliwe bafethu ukuthi hamba why you don't listen why you are so stubborn my man hey we told you to go we told you to go home why yinde what are you going to do with this yeah what is this for what is this for
Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you managed to watch the video up until where we are, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe. The clip that we have seen whereby the people there were a lot of people on the street, I think those are the marchers. They were just trying to control themselves because for these marchers for this march to be able to still exist, I think it's because of the control that the leaders, they've decided to teach themselves or to practice during this march. In fact, even the people that are trying to control bakwatile manje kuba manje it was too harsh ushaya abantu ngemvubu kanjena ndoda simatsha sikwatile singagcina sidla wena sijikela wena yabona. So that what was happening there. And also Max, we know Max always speaks out his mind. I'm sorry about the language that he was using. That's what he does. He speaks like that. People that knows him, they know him. He speaks like this. Yeah, this is the last part of our video. Thank you so much for watching and following through. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.